Hey, what's going on, prime timers? It is Easter weekend, and that means there's not a lot of sales to go to. I have found, however, one estate sale to hit up, so we're going to go over there, and then there's like a few random things I'm going to look at. There's one place I went to last week where I found some stuff that they're still pulling some stuff out of, so we're going to go back to that as well. Happy Easter, by the way, to all of the prime timers who celebrate Easter, and let's head off to that sale right now. It's going to start in about 20 minutes, and that's about how long it takes to get there, so hopefully we'll have some success. So let's head on out. Well, you can see the line of cars is pretty big. So it looks like this is the house. The way they're doing this one is at 9 o'clock, which it is right now, they're opening the yard and the garage. And then at 9:30, they're opening the rest of the house. Here's another look at it from the other side. You can see there's a lot of people who are lined up, who are just waiting to get in. Looks like that there are so many people here, they now actually have a state trooper out to monitor the traffic. It's gotten so out of control with how many cars are here. I'm gonna try to find a spot down at the other end. All right, they're starting to call numbers. Time to head on in. 56. This is the garage area. So don't pass up VHS. When you're looking through VHS, look for old horror movies. For cassettes, I tend to look for old heavy metal, 80s rock and roll, grunge music, Nirvana, that type of stuff. None of that stuff is here. There's a lot of country stuff, gospel stuff, that kind of thing. You know, normally I would look into something like this in more detail. This isn't a problem in terms of getting the this little side thing off, but when the actual item is stamped discarded, that's where you have problems in terms of flipping it. So this is an interesting item. I recently highlighted it as a be on the lookout item of the day in my Facebook group. I actually recently sold it for $30 outside of the box. Now it is in the box, but you have to be careful because in the box sealed, it will go for around $80 to $90, but in the box pre-owned, this is still like a $30 to $40 piece, so you have to be careful. It's not sealed, there's no plastic wrap around it, and you can tell that it's already been opened. So at this price for $20, you have to pass on it. I often feel like I'm cursed with records at these sales. This is the type of junk that I normally wind up finding, junk in terms of value. You know, polka and big band and that sort of stuff. The truth is that a lot of this stuff, these record collections, tend to get pre-picked even before they get put out at the sales. Just FYI on that. Same thing with thrift stores. So this one's not bad. It's a Lionel Train book. I normally don't pay $3 for books, but because it's Lionel Train's, I'm gonna get it. Someone's gonna want this. It's out of print. The other thing is that it does have a little bit of a rip right here, but again, because it's Lionel Train's, I know someone's gonna buy it. Inside, everything else on this looks good. So, gonna pick this one up. You know, and if nothing else with these types of books, you have to remember, worst case, if it doesn't sell, you now have it as a reference, and this is something that I like to get into, are model trains. So keep that in mind too when you're, you know, if you're waffling back and forth with the purchase or not. Can you use it for some other reason for your reselling business if it doesn't sell? This one, yes. All right, so I got the book for $2, and now it is time to go inside the actual house. All right, finally able to get down here after a 40-minute wait. Hope it's worth it. Okay, a good rule of thumb when looking at decanters is Jim Beam, generally not worth much. Now, stuff like this I like for supplies because these little things are like $1.79 or so in the store. So if you get a whole bag of them for $1 and I go through a lot of tape, that could be a good pickup. I also love to pick up these manila envelopes. They are perfect. I go through them all the time with all the books and the comics and stuff that I ship out. Magazines, perfect. You get them for next to nothing. Ones like this are good for things like postcards. I can also use these for sorting my postcards. Just grab these as well.
Bag or anything? No, nothing. Okay. See what these are.
Boy, oh boy, that was beyond frustrating, I have to tell you. I mean, for several reasons. One, you know, when I got there, everyone was waiting in line to the side of the house, and all the numbers were in the front of the house. So it wasn't immediately obvious they had to go to the front of the house to actually pick that card with the number on it. And so the way they did it is that they let people in through the backyard into this garage area. And, you know, there was some stuff outside the garage, but it was mostly like lawn furniture, stuff like that you wouldn't pick up to flip on eBay. And they did that for half an hour. Then they reset everything. They took everybody out, had you wait in line again, and then went through all the numbers, which just absolutely crazy. Is just very inefficient. The other thing is that they were very slow at letting people in. I mean, I go to estate sales all the time, and this was just painstakingly long in terms of, you know, it was basically a 40-minute wait just to get into the house. There was plenty of room that they could have let more people in. And, you know, having your customers waiting out there for 40 minutes just is not good. So was it an efficient use of my time today? Absolutely not. So one of the things that I have learned with this particular company is that if I go to another one of their estate sales again, early in the morning, I am definitely getting here in advance and picking one of those numbers so I do not have to wait in that kind of line. Normally, it's not that big of a deal, as you've seen from my other haul videos, but this time it was a big deal in terms of the wait time. And so one of the lessons that I learned here today is that if I ever go to another one of these sales from this company early in the morning, I am definitely going to make sure that I come early and I get one of those numbers, because I do not want to wait, you know, 40 minutes in line again just to get inside of the house. Now, I have been to estate sales from this company before. It's just that I've always gone later in the day and in the afternoon, just based on the way the day has just shaped out. And also, they're normally set up farther away from Primetime Treasure headquarters. So today they were closer. There's not many sales going on today. So I wound up, for the first time, being able to get there early, and just, again, cannot believe the inefficiency of the setup. So was it a complete waste of time? No, I wound up picking some stuff up. You saw that Lionel Train book that I got. This one I couldn't talk about, because one of the other things that was annoying about the sale, I understand why they do it, do not get me wrong, but when they have monitors hovering over you in every room, it does make it difficult to talk in there and make YouTube videos for you. So I know that's not something they need to worry about whatsoever, but just saying. Anyway, one of the items I wanted to pass on that you saw me pick up at the end that is a good be on the lookout item, it's these recipes for a happy home sign. Pretty much any one of these that you can pick up, they usually do sell, and this one, there's no comps for this specific one, but these signs in general do well. So the reason I picked it up is because it is vintage and it is still sealed. A little bit of the sealant has come off on the back, but that's not a big deal. This is what people care about, is the front. And so I'm hoping I could get like 25, 30 bucks out of this. It only cost $1. The other thing that I did to definitely make some use out of the time that I wound up spending there, one of the things I needed were supplies. And two of the main supplies that I go through a lot is tape and envelopes. And so, as I said in the video, you know, these tapes, they add up. I mean, you know, you look at these in the store, like I said, they're usually like $1.79, $2, something like that. So there's like 13 rolls of tape in here. That's like 26 bucks worth of tape for $1. And the other thing I did really well with was all these envelopes. I was needing to get some more of these, so I'm happy. Picked all these up for $1 as well. So, you know, if you're at a sale and you're not finding a lot of things that you could use to flip in your business, to resell, then look for supplies. Estate sales are one of my main sources to get shipping supplies. I mean, dirt cheap. $1 for all these. I mean, look up how much these things would have cost. You know, I mean, different size envelopes too. You know, I've got this size right here. I've got what looks to be like 9x12 ones here. Got like some bubble wrapping ones too. And there's even a stack of bigger ones that are like 10x13. So again, very happy to pick up all these supplies. Now we're going to head over to another sale and let's see if we could have some better luck over there. I'm back. That's right. I'm back at this house. You may remember it from my last haul video. That was the first day that this person had put on a spontaneous estate sale. He had not pulled stuff out of the basement yet, and there were some other rooms he hadn't gotten to yet either. Now, he did take stuff out for Wednesday and Thursday, but I just couldn't get there because of my regular job. So now it is Saturday. It's his last day, so hopefully there's some stuff there he just wants to blow out. So we're going to go over there and see if we could get anything else out of there, find some stuff that maybe some of these other people going through just haven't realized the value of. So let's head on in. It's my last chance to get anything before Easter because the flea market is closed tomorrow. So this is it. All right, now Freddy Krueger's not down there, is he?
He is.
He is? All right. I'm kind of scared. All right, he's to the left. I'm kind of scared. To the left, huh? Oh, well, let's see. Oh, no, that's not Freddy Krueger. Oh, boy. Does kind of look like a dungeon, pretty much. We'll slowly go through the dungeon. It smells like a dungeon, that's for sure. Probably because of Freddy's boiler room here. That's for sure. And I think Freddy keeps his victims in that chest back there. Oh, look, opens up a little bit more. Oh, there's Freddy's torture tools over there. So we've got some things to look at. If I find anything good, I'll let you know. That does look kind of scary over there from this angle with the bricks and the pipes and everything. Okay, so when you're at these sales where people have gone through it for 3 days, you really have to think outside the box to find something that other people could have missed. Like I said in the car, and this is a good example because if you look at it from the outside, it just looks like a piece of junk, right? So I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna bring it over here and I'm gonna turn it around. I'm gonna show you something. So let's pick this up. All right, let's bring it over here. So turn it around, and inside what we see is it's an old Motorola Golden Voice speaker. And those are actually prized by people. You know, doesn't go for a ton of money, but all I've got to do is unscrew these screws and take this out of here. You know, and this could be a $30, $40, even a $50 piece. I got to clean it up a little bit. And this would come with it too. He's going to just basically give this kind of stuff away right now because it's the last day. I'm not even sure what this part is, so I'm going to have to pull that out, take a look at it, see what it is, if it has any markings on it. But hopefully this would be a nice, good pickup. All right, so we are back at Primetime Treasure headquarters. This is the only item I wound up purchasing there. Only cost $3, so a little fun project. I'm gonna take it apart later, and hopefully by the end of the video, I'll show you what this looks like once I take everything all out. All right, everyone, so this is a historic moment. This is the first time that I'm gonna show you anything that I've actually put in my shed, which I have now named Primetime Treasure Shed Quarters. I got a little sign here that I got to hang up later. Right here is the item I'm going to do a little bit of work on later. So someone asked me if I planned on using the shed for, projects, storage, and I said both. And so a little project I could do here. These are some glass items that I got at an estate sale about a year ago, and they've just been sitting in the garage. So now I could take them out, I could look through them, I could even store them in here with no problem, clear out room in the garage, and then we could put more stuff in the garage. So that's the whole point of doing this. So excited to just show you the first time I put anything in here, and this is definitely just obviously going to evolve over time. Definitely pumped up to totally deck this place out. So just to show you something else we're doing this weekend, and it is all related to reselling, that is where that box with the glasses was just in. We want to knock this whole thing out, get rid of this, clear this pathway. This is where Mrs. Primetime parks her car, so we just want to clear all that space out of her. No, I don't have a baby. That is actually my Shih Tzu's stroller that Mrs. Primetime got her. Believe it or not, yes, my dog has a stroller. So a lot of this stuff here is garage sale stuff. So for stuff that you're, finding out that just didn't sell on eBay, you thought it was gonna sell, just didn't, then just take it, get your money back, and we're organizing everything. You can see we've got boxes all set. These are all gonna be loaded with stuff for the garage sale. So that's gonna happen next week. These are my pallets from the storage unit. I'm probably gonna work on maybe condensing these over onto this one because I have cleared some of that out, and maybe we can make some more space that way. So lots of things going on this weekend. Make use of the holiday time. Now, one of the other things I should tell you about, like when you see these shutters and you see these shelves, this is actually something that Mrs. Primetime is doing. She's carving out like a little niche for herself in local marketplaces. So she's buying things like shutters and stuff for like $3 at garage sales, and she's turning around and flipping them on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist for like 25 bucks a pop. She sold a shelf last week for 40 bucks, and so she does some retouching of them and stuff, and sometimes she'll repaint them. We'll even get like that right there is like a whole piece of furniture that we just got for free because someone was moving, and Mrs. Primetime will touch it up. She might even repaint it. Like here's some of the shelves and stuff, and there's the doors and stuff. So she redoes all that, and it doesn't take her super long, and then she turns around and makes a nice flip on it. So that's another piece right there. We've got a tea cart right now online for $100. That's on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, and we've had some inquiries on that. So it's just a nice little side thing you could do with furniture. And if you have the added storage of a shed, then you could take on some more big pieces like this and flip them locally. Okay, now one other point I want to make about the shed is that not every item I put in there is going to be a reselling item, but what I put in there will strategically be related to reselling. What I mean by that is I have some big containers and stuff that hold tools, and they've been taking up a lot of space in the garage. By moving that stuff out into the shed, it opens space up in the garage for me to have easier access to it. Let me show you what I mean. So this thing here is a perfect example. This big giant Ryobi container of tools has just been taking up so much space in this garage. It takes up that whole entire spot right there. It's just a big pain. So by moving it out of here, now I free up space like that to use to store other stuff that I could more easily access when I'm inside the house. Now I can just come out and I can just grab it from the garage. And something like this, I don't care about it sitting in the shed. Daisy, did little Miss Primetime and Mrs. Primetime put you in a tutu? Really? I'm on record. I don't think you like that, but they're saying you do. Really? Okay, so just as an update, we have done some consolidation. This pallet, I can now get out of here. We need some space for this garage sale. As you can see, things are kind of mounting up, so we need some space to move it. So getting this out of here is gonna help. What I've done with a lot of this stuff, some of the stuff's been listed, some of this stuff has been brought into a different processing area, and I also consolidated some stuff here and had the time to stack it in such a way that the stuff underneath is not going to crush. And there's been some other things that I've been able to put back there. That's from the storage unit that I purchased. And so that's good. I'm just gonna get this pallet out of here now. This is Mrs. Primetime's tea cart I was telling you about. That's she's selling for $100, and she's currently doing a furniture restoration project right behind me right now. You wanna go on camera? Wanna say hi to all the fans? She's too shy to go on camera, but this is what she's working on. We bought this at a garage sale last year for $5. The person I bought it from is someone I know is a comic collector and toy collector, and his wife was working on this as a project and she just gave up on it. So she did most of the hard work. So I got it for $5, and Miss Primetime's working on flipping it. There's a cushion that goes there as well. And you know, she's gonna sell for a lot more than $5, I'll tell you that much. So just another thing you could do if you're creative and you like furniture. All right, so this is the first of what I hope to be many long shot videos inside Primetime Treasure Shed Quarters. I want to show you what I was able to get out of here. One of the items I think is pretty exciting. Now, the first piece that I took out was that piece up top, that Motorola Golden Voice speaker. All that required was 4 flathead screws to come out of the corners. That's it. So that was very simple. And this is the part here that was flush against the wood that you just couldn't see without taking the screws out. And unfortunately, as you can see here, there's some holes inside the speaker netting. And so, you know, I'm not sure if anyone would still want this as kind of like a refurbishing project. All you got to do is take the netting off. So maybe someone would still want it for the metal part. I'm not sure. We'll check that part out. But the second part that I wound up taking out was this radio part on the bottom. Now, I was hoping that since this was a Motorola, that would be a Motorola too. And what happened is there were these little screws here that were put in with nuts. All I had to do is take the nuts out and then just tap it with a hammer, and this pulled out of here. Now, when I first took it out, I could not find any markings on this to tell me what it was. I looked on this side, I looked on the bottom, could not find it, looked on the back, thought that that would be an obvious place for it to be too, but couldn't find it. But then, when I turned it on the other side, I saw something that's pretty exciting. We've got numbers Motorola 7M. So what do you think I did? I went straight to eBay to check the comps. There's no comps in the last 60 days for Motorola 7M. Now, I'm gonna check TerraPeak later to see, because that will give me the past year, but nothing on eBay for it, and there's no one currently selling it. Now, I did go and I looked at some other sites where they sell these types of car radios. Now, this, I believe, goes to a Volkswagen. Anyway, when I looked it up, there was someone who had it for sale. Now it was shined up, was nicer. I don't know if it worked or not, but the person had it for sale for $550 and it's sold. I'm not saying this is gonna get $550, but what I'm telling you is I think it's scarce and I think someone's gonna want this. And so what I'm gonna do is this is the type of item that I'm gonna put up in an auction. And that's from information that I've learned from watching a lot of Craigslist Hunter videos. So if you don't watch Craigslist Hunter, you should definitely check him out. I actually had him on my channel, fortunately, for an interview several months ago, so you could check that out in the interview section at the playlist section of the YouTube channel. But so this is very exciting. Now, if you know more about electronics and vintage car radios than I do, you know, please drop a note about it. I'll put this up again so you could see it a little closer. I'm probably gonna have to list it for parts because I don't know if this works. I'm not even sure how to really check that out. But anyway, definitely an exciting find, and I think a potential treasure at that last sale from thinking outside the box. All right, everyone, so I did a little bit of cleaning just to get some dirt and dust and grime off of this. And that was good to help bring a little bit more of the character of this radio out. Right there you could see it brings a little bit more of the Motorola information out from the knob there. Also, right here, you know, just kind of brings that out, highlights it a little more. It's considered one of the big M radios. There's a 5M, a 6M, a 7M, which obviously this is, and an 8M. And that number refers to the year in the 1950s that it was made. So the 7M comes from 1957. These came off of Volkswagen Beetles. And everything I continue to find about these is that they are really hard to find and that collectors really want them. And you might wonder, especially if you're brand new into this, why would somebody want something that doesn't work? Well, the reason is because if they're doing a project on a car and like a 1957 Beetle and they need this radio, they could get the outer shell. That's the most important part, is the outer shell, and then they could take apart all these little, components that are inside here, and they could replace those types of things. But what they really want is that outer shell, and they could do whatever they want to clean this up a little bit more. But having this base and putting it in there and getting it to work again, that people will pay a lot of money for. So again, I don't know what's going to happen right now. This is into potential treasure mode, and we'll see. I'm going to do more research on it. I'm going to take pictures. I'm going to try to get this listed as soon as possible and put it up for auction, and then we'll just see what happens with it. It'll be a 7-day auction. I'll try to get the word out, letting people know on message boards and that sort of stuff, and hopefully we have some good news from this. So I guess just to sum it all up for today, I think there are different lessons that were learned. One lesson was to make sure you know your estate sale dealer, and I learned a lesson today about making sure that for this particular dealer, when I go there early, that I get that number in advance, so I'm not wasting a lot of time waiting in line. So that was one thing. The other thing is, and this is just a lesson I want to just pass on, is to make sure if you're going to a sale and there's not a lot of good things that you find in there that you could resell, then just go and see if there's any supplies that you could use for your reselling business. You could get some great deals that way. And lastly, and I would say most importantly, is when you're going to a sale on that last day and everyone's gone through and has picked through things, don't think that there's not treasures or potential treasures there. To find them, you have to look in the places that other people haven't looked in, and you have to look inside things and think outside of the box, like that big wooden crate that these things were in, and think, what could I do with this? Is there a way to kind of unearth a treasure from this? And so I think this was a very good example. So, again, hopefully it bears fruit. We'll see what happens. I hope you liked the video. If so, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. Pass it on to others. Go to see my playlist. If you like this haul video, I have tons of others with all sorts of treasure-seeking tips. Make sure you come to the Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. The link is down below. That's why I'm pointing down there. Also, my Instagram account @prime_time_treasure. See you at the next video, everyone. Take care.